What's up, everybody? I think this is live. Anyway, this is Music City Driver, otherwise known as Chris. I'm coming at you on Friday night, January 18th. And I wanted to come to do this live stream that I tried to do yesterday, and I just couldn't handle it with walking around, trying to get somewhere. Okay, my beacon's charging, thanks. Anyway, I wanted to go ahead and go over this Postmates order that I got. So I don't know if you guys are very familiar with Postmates or not. If you are, then you've seen this screen before. One of the little strategies that I use, as you can probably see, you know I'm not driving a scooter, right? No, I'm not driving a scooter. I'm driving a Yukon, which is a very large vehicle. It's pretty funny, actually, kind of comical sometimes when I pull up and people are like, I thought you were on a little scooter. And I'm like, nope. So the reason I have it on that is if you put it on a car or a truck or a van, you're not going to be able to see how many things are in the order and what's in the order. And as I may have or may not have said before, Postmates bases their tips on the total amount of the order, including delivery fees and everything. So if you get a decent sized order from an expensive restaurant, chances are that's going to be a relatively expensive meal or meals for whoever ordered it. So it's going to be, if you get a $100 order and you take it and deliver it to somebody, a lot of times you'll get $20. That has happened to me several times recently, and it's why I don't take every single Postmates order that comes through. I am very selective on my Postmates orders, and the reason why is because I am using Postmates as a stopgap or as a fill-in. When I am slow on Uber or Lyft, which I have Lyft off right now, but Lyft was going crazy a minute ago. Uber XL I have on XL only right now, and it's not coming in. Nothing's coming in so far. But when I am doing Postmates, I kind of gave up on Uber Eats, and I definitely gave up on Grubhub because I hate Grubhub and their practices, and they're so wishy-washy, and their dispatching is horrible, and just I could go on a rant for a day about Grubhub and their horrible practices. But anyway, Postmates is probably not that much better, but I have had a lot more luck on Postmates and better dispatching on Postmates, where I have been literally right beside a restaurant and they give me the order. I'm right there, and then boom. Because one thing I hate is when I get a request, and I'm hoping a request will come in so I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. On Postmates, it shows you, which is your little icon, but it also shows the restaurant that you're picking up from. It needs to be close to me. It needs to be close to my little scooter. If it's not close to my little scooter, I don't take it. Now, there's extenuating circumstances to that, and one of those extenuating circumstances is if it is a expensive restaurant that I know is expensive. So you kind of have to know your restaurants in the area before you kind of set up shop in a little area. And a friend of mine asked me if I'm out yet. Well, yeah, I am, but I'm doing stuff. Anyway, so if it pops up on my screen and it's clear over across town, and it's like a McDonald's cheeseburger, you can guess I'm not going to take that. Because I'm not going to drive all the way across town, because you do not get paid for those miles at all, or time. The only time you start getting paid is when you arrive at the restaurant and you start getting paid wait time, which is only 10 cents a minute, which is pretty pathetic, honestly. And a lot of times you'll run into, especially with these expensive restaurants, where it is a situation where you're going to have to pay for it and order it and pay for it. A lot of times it'll be pre-ordered but not prepaid, and sometimes it's prepaid and pre-ordered. So it really depends. There's those three situations, those three scenarios are all you run across. Prepaid or pre-ordered, not prepaid, so you have to pay with your card. Not ordered, not paid. You gotta place the order yourself, pay with the card, wait for it. And then there's the optimal one, but not necessarily always the most expensive order, which is a pre-ordered, prepaid order, where you just go in, tell them who you're picking up for, the order number and or the name, and they hand it to you and you go. Those are by far the easiest, and that's what people usually do the most, in my experience. So to relate my story a little bit, the other night I was planning on driving home, and I was like, I'll just hang around. I'll just see if there's anything on Postmates, and I'll do some Postmates orders, a couple of them, before I head home. So I turned on the app, and by the way, I got a $1.49 adjustment on my wait time at the order I'm about to show you, because it was not correct. So this was yesterday. So this is Maggiano's, which is on West End. It's an Italian restaurant, relatively expensive. The order, I believe, was about $60, $65 with tax and all. As you can see, I got a $10.30 tip on that, and I had to wait about 9 minutes. It was actually prepaid and pre-ordered, so I didn't have to pay for it. Actually, no, it was just I think it was just pre-ordered. I don't believe it was paid. Anyway, I had to wait 9.3 minutes for it to be completely done, and then I drove it 4.67 miles. So if I had just relied on Postmates payment, I would have made about $6.67. Is that my math right there? Yeah, $6.67. So $10.30 tip made it a $16.97 order. Had to wait for about 10 minutes. Took me a little while to get there because this was in a rush hour time. So traffic in Nashville can be pretty bad. Took me a while to get there, but that's still not bad. $17 probably took me about 30 minutes total. So I mean, that's, an hourly rate of $34 an hour. I'll take it. So this was the big one. So this one occurred not long after the Maggiano's order. I was actually so the Maggiano's order ended up taking me way down into Bellevue, Belmead area. So when I left there, I went to Highway 70S because that's where I was going to go on and head up to the interstate and head home. So, and this is an interesting aside, when I started to go back online, because for some reason it went offline after I delivered that order, and I was like, what is the deal here? Why is it offline? So I hit on go online, and it said, you've been put on a 5-minute something because your orders ended inefficiently. And I'm like, what does that even mean? So I was like, okay, I'm offline for 5 minutes. So I kept driving towards 40. And then I kept checking to see if it was about time for it to come back on. And then it finally let me back online. As soon as I got back online, I got this order. This order is for Sakura, which is a sushi restaurant at the corner over there by Old Hickory and Highway 70S in West Nashville, Bellevue area. I was like, oh, okay. It's a sushi restaurant. Sushi restaurants are relatively pretty pricey. And I looked at the order, and there was like a whole litany of things that they ordered, and they were not cheap. They were sashimi and rolls and filet and shrimp and all this expensive stuff. And I was like, wow. I added up in my head real quick, and I was like, that's about $100 and something order. And the plot thickens. So I get there, and I walk in, and the guy's like, there was a driver in here a minute ago who tried to get this order, and he couldn't do it. And I was like, what do you mean he couldn't do it? He said that the order was too expensive. The Postmates card that you have, I would show it to you, but I don't really want to show the number because somebody could steal it or something. Not saying I don't trust you guys. I'm just saying anybody on the internet could steal it. So I was like, $200. So I had run into a situation before where I had a problem with my card where it was declined and they had to add more funds to it. So I was thinking, I wonder if I can do the same thing. So the guy apparently before didn't have the right number, waited around for 20 minutes, couldn't get anything done, and so he canceled and left. So lo and behold, I come along. And like I said, I had this number. So I was like, I'll call this number, give it a try. It was the right number because when I called, and I'll put that number in the description after I upload it. It may not be tonight, but it may be tomorrow. That number, I spoke with a gentleman, and he was like, yeah, we only put a $200 limit on there. We only let Postmates have a $200 limit. I was like, okay, well, This order is $280 and I think 72 cents. And I'll show you guys the picture. Oh, there it is. Here's the receipt. As you can see, not cheap. Tuna sashimi, $39, 6 of them. $42 for yellowtail sashimi, $42. I mean, so all these added up to, as you can see, $280.72. So after about being on hold for about 5 to 8 minutes, something like that, the guy comes back on and he says, okay, you can try it now. So I saw a notification come up on my Postmates app that told me that $350 was added to it or something like that, or the limit was up to $350 or something. So I was like, okay, try it. So I gave the guy the card. He tried it. Bam, it ran through. So then the order preparation started. So keep in mind, none of the order has not been being made this whole time because it hasn't been paid for. So, which is totally understandable. So I get it going, and it's actually it didn't take that long, honestly, for the order to be done. I mean, it's sashimi, so, and it wasn't super busy in the restaurant, so they were able to jump right on it and get it. And I ended up with this big meat tray looking thing, with the black plastic with the clear plastic top that you get like meat tray stuff that you buy at like Kroger or Walmart or whatever. That filled with sashimi and rolls, you know, Titan rolls, as you can see, shrimp nigiri, yellowtail sashimi, all these different things. And I have a big Grubhub bag. It's like a big pizza bag, right? But you can turn it on its side and you can put big orders in it. Well, I had like 3 or 4 bags that fit in that were hot. So I put them in the hot bag, put the other one on the seat, turn on the air, made sure the air was kind of blasting, air conditioning on the sashimi so it didn't get warm. And I drove it to a very expensive neighborhood with a very expensive house. Let's just say it was worth millions of dollars. I don't know if this person was famous or not. I'm not going to drop a name or anything because I have no idea. They were very nice. I parked down at the street because their driveway was pretty steep and it had a lot of things that I didn't want to run into. If it was possible, I was not going to take a chance. So I parked down at the street, put my hazards on, walked up the driveway, which was pretty steep, and then walked up this stone staircase where the 2 ladies met me at the door. And I made sure that they had it all, that they were able to carry it, because it was a lot of stuff. I didn't want them to drop it and, you know, all that stuff. So made sure that was good, and then I left. And I thought, well, if they actually tip me on 20%, which Postmates recommends, of that amount, I'm going to get a pretty hefty tip. But I was like, I'm not going to count on it because you know how tipping is. You never totally 100% believe you're going to get a tip, whether it's on Lyft or Uber or Postmates or Uber Eats or whatever. Oh boy. Well, apparently I got a surge. But I'm going to go ahead and get that. But I wanted to show you guys this real quick. I wanted to show you my tip. $62.74 tip. $68.52 payout for about 30 minutes of work. So with that, I bid you guys adieu, and I'm going to go pick up an Uber XL ride with a slight surge. So you guys have a good one, and I will hopefully speak with you soon.